It's no secret that the life of the royal family members is subject to strict rules of etiquette and age-old traditions. The period of pregnancy and childbirth is no exception. After all, it is not every day that the heirs to the British throne are born. Windsor moms should keep the news of their pregnancy a secret until the 3rd month, but Kate Middleton was an exception. She had to reveal the secret because of the inability to attend official events due to a severe and dangerous form of morning sickness. The Duchess of Cambridge said that all her pregnancies were very difficult, so she fell in love with the birth itself. She was comforted by the thought that relief would come immediately after that. Even while pregnant, the monarch is not allowed to deviate from the dress code. It does not matter how much the legs swell, they have to walk in pumps or other similar shoes with a closed toe. Cleavage during pregnancy is taboo, since enlarged breasts are supposed to be hidden. It's funny that members of the royal family still prefer to find out the sex of the baby directly on the day of birth. Of course, if the expectant mother wants to break this rule, then no one will prevent her from doing so. But she can only tell the news to a very narrow circle of relatives, and everyone else waits for the official announcement of the birth of a girl or a boy. The intrigue at the same time is serious. The public builds their guesses based on the colors of the mom's outfits, then based on betting predictions. It's been a tradition to give birth at home in the royal family for many centuries. Only in the last few decades have heirs been born at St. Mary's Hospital, but always under the supervision of a personal royal gynecologist. In general, a whole team of 20 specialists gather for childbirth: obstetricians, gynecologists, anesthesiologists, neonatologists, laboratory assistants, and other specialists. All of them, by the way, sign a non-disclosure agreement. Another rule that has been abandoned is the absence of the child's father during childbirth. Queen Elizabeth was the first to break this tradition in 1964 when she gave birth to her 4th child. The fact is that at the same time she was very fond of women's magazines, which emphasized the importance of having the baby's dad present at the birth. Elizabeth really liked this idea, and so Prince Philip became the first royal father in the history of modern times who saw the birth of his child. Elizabeth, by the way, became a real pioneer in terms of childbirth, because earlier she refused to follow the tradition to be watched by a member of the government. Apparently, he was supposed to testify that the royal person really gave birth to the child that was shown to the public. What is not accepted at the Windsors is to give unusual names to newborns. After all, they can ascend to the throne, and the name should be serious and quite traditional. But the further down the line, the more likely it is that the baby will have a more unique name. The last name also might be a problem. In addition to the name of the royal house and the dynasty, the Windsors, if desired, you can proclaim, for example, a double surname on the paternal and maternal lines. But most often the title is transformed into a surname: Welsh, Cambridge, Sussex, etc. According to British tradition, representatives of the royal family should appear in public with the child just a few hours after its birth. At the same time, you need to look, of course, 100%, with impeccable style and makeup. So far, only Meghan Markle has refused a photo shoot when leaving the hospital, and she and Harry shared pictures of the newborn only a few days later. In general, the birth of a prince or princess is announced in a rather peculiar way. In front of Buckingham Palace, a large gilded easel is displayed on which a corresponding statement is written. Previously, it was written by hand and required the signature of a priest. Today, it is printed. In honor of the royal newborns and their parents, 62 volleys are fired from historical cannons near Tower Bridge and 41 from cannons near Buckingham Palace. And on the streets of London, an unofficial town crier announces the birth of an heir.
We welcome, with humble duty, the second born of the Royal Highnesses, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge.
Since 1841, there has been a tradition to dress the royal babies in the same dress at christenings. It was started by Queen Victoria, who chose a satin robe with a lot of lace and a pale yellow ruffle for her daughter. Prince Charles and Prince William were christened in this original outfit, which was kept in the royal archives for several centuries. And in 2008, an exact copy of it was made. After the birth of a child, the Windsors, like other people, are also entitled to maternity leave. Usually the mother is given about 6 months of rest from official events, but it is possible to get out of it earlier. And the father's vacation is much shorter. For example, after the birth of George and Charlotte, Prince William rested for 2 weeks, and when Louis was born, he refused to go on paternity leave at all. Do you think young mothers from the British royal family should continue to follow these traditions, or is it better to abandon some of them? If you like the video, leave a like, and also subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss anything interesting.